Good morning all. Yep, back out in France again. This time a small lake in the Champagne region called Lake in the Woods, previously known as Étang de Bois. My fourth morning and I'm struggling. Two lads with me have had 3 fish and lost 3 between them. I've come out with the idea that the week before the fish had started feeding, 12 fish came out. So with the weather that they've had in this part of France and throughout France this year, there's not really been many big catches. So I thought, well, they're going to have a feed up sometimes. So I've gone in with 3 big beds of bait. This time I've brought out the 18mm and the 12mm LT, and I've mixed at least 15 to 20 kilos in with a load of the house particle, house pellet, and I've just put some baits out there. I've seen fish moving up and down the margins, so hopefully they'll get on the bait sometime. Luckily enough, if nothing happens this trip, I'm only home 4 days and then back out to France, back out to Tremblaye. So hopefully we should have some fish there. But there's still 3 days left. I'm quite hopeful. We're seeing the fish moving up and down those margins. They've got to go over the bait sometime. So I think we may trip 1 or 2 up before the end of the trip. Now, one thing that I've been asked quite a few times, and I've seen quite a lot on social media about people coming out to France and doing longer sessions, is do I know anywhere where I can get cheap bait? Now, to me, that's a no-no. Why would you do it? We spend thousands of pounds on the latest rods, reels, alarms, pods, bivvies, you name it. And for what I think is probably the most important part of our armoury, apart from actually finding the fish, the bait, why would you go for a cheap bait? It defies all logic to me. Now, there are some brilliant bait rollers out there, some fantastic baits out there, and of course I will be biased, but the LT is one of the best baits that I've used for a long while, and I'll quite happily use it summer and winter, all year round. So don't skimp on your bait. A simple rig on any kind of equipment placed in the right place with a decent bait will catch your fish. So please don't skimp on your bait. So I purchased myself a stealth cam for the bait boat, and when you get to these lakes in France or wherever you're going and the bailiff says to you, these are the spots that got fished last week, fish have come out, they'll have eaten all the bait, and you use one of these things, it's a bit of a game changer and an eye opener. So you're just starting to come over a bit of bait. There's some more. Twigs, bits of corn. So you can find where all the bait's been left. Brilliant piece of kit. See the surface of the bottom. Just drifting over that spot again. There we are. So as we can see, all the bait ain't been eaten, so we'll look for another spot, I think. So, Friday morning, last day. I'm still struggling, not a bite yet, but hopeful. I'm fishing a little arm off the lake, a little sheltered arm, to the margins that you can see over my shoulder. what's difference between myself and the lads that are fishing with me. They've caught fish. I think they're fishing underneath the overhangs, a bit closer to the far bank. Now I've had the boat and the camera out under these margins that I've got in front of me, and there's some substantial snags under there. Now they've lost 4 or 5 fishing snags, but I don't think the snags that they've got are as bad as the ones that I've got. So I decided, rather than risk loose fish in the margins, leave them with hooks trailing about on them, I'd fish just on the overhang themselves, which may be a reason why I've not caught anything. I'm looking for excuses now, but that could be one factor. I also had the boat out yesterday. I was fishing wafters, had the boat out, had the camera down, and 2 of my 3 hook baits have been masked by the leaves, which since we came Saturday, the leaf fall's been significant, so that might be another factor. 2 of the spots, plenty of the boilie had disappeared. There was only a handful left. One of the spots haven't been touched boilie wise, so the fish are actually feeding on the baits. It's just the hook baits. Might be a little tweak that I need to do. So I've gone from wafters to pop-ups now, and we'll see how it goes. So I had an interesting conversation with a couple of lads that were fishing on the lake adjacent to us about hook baits, and they'd said, oh, they'd followed everything the bailiff has told them to do, and they're not catching fish, they've not even seen a fish. I think there's 5 of them on, and they said they'd all been using washed out hook baits. And I said, oh yeah, why is that? Oh, the bailiff told us this, and that the carp would see that they were safe because they'd been in the water a long while. Now, I've always wondered about this. A carp knows that a bait's been in the water a long while by looking at it. I'm not so sure, because I asked them if everybody were using the same bait, and they said no. So I said, well, what are you using? So one was using a red fish meal, one's using a brown fish meal, one's using an orange tootie, and I think 2 are on cell. So if you soak these baits, the red fish meal will go a pinky colour, the brown fish meal will go a lighter brown, the yellow or the orange tootie will stay orange, and the cell will be a whitish colour. So they're all different. So how could a carp look at those baits and say, oh, that's safe, when they're all different? So I'm not so sure about stuff like that. I've been making my baits myself for a long while. I only stopped when things got that expensive to make them in the quantities that I wanted to make them in, and I now rely on people to make my baits for me, and I'm very happy with the LT, as I would be. It's caught me a lot of fish. So this is my take on these washed out baits. I used to sit a long time in front of the tanks. I know it sounds sad, but putting hook baits in tanks, or the normal baits in a tank of warm water, as soon as you put those baits in, you can see a steady stream leaking out of the bait of the soluble food items, food liquids, whatever you want to put in them, or whatever is in them, going up through the water column, so it's in every level until the surface. Now, a carp in a lake, they can sense these food signals, but if you've got a 10-foot lake, they can be those food signals in 10 foot of water. So the carp are swimming around, they know the signals are there, but they're not actually homing in anything. Now, once you've left a bait in that water for how long, and it's taken on a significant amount of water, the soluble items in that bait will start to get less and less and less, so there'll be less coming out into those water columns. So basically, from the top to the bottom is getting less food signals. Once they've taken on so much water, I believe that the less soluble liquids in there start to come out with whatever's left of the soluble liquids, plus if you've soaked them in any liquids to start with, that could have an effect on it. But you tend to get a haze round the baits at the bottom of the tank. Now, if that happens on the lake bed, that haze is a food signal around the bait, so it's more concentrated there, so the carp homing on those concentrations of food signals, which I think that sort of, it's not looking at the baits, it's because there's a concentration of food signals around the baits once they've been in the water a long time. Now, if anybody's got any better ideas, I know there's plenty of people out there that are chemists for bait companies. They might be able to explain it a bit better, but that's my take on it. I don't think it's got anything to do with the baits looking like they've been in the water a long time. Never get tired of this drive down this little road to Tremblaye. Favourite French lake. Back out in France again. 4 days after I got home from Étang-de-Bois. Regrouped after the blank. Tremblaye's been good to me. So let's hope it's good to me again. As you can see in the picture, nice little crack in the windscreen. This journey always throws something up. And that's another little present for me. Coming down the road, soon see beautiful is this, just on your right hand side. Coming into Tremblaye. What a beautiful place. So, you join me Saturday morning on the banks of La Tremblaye, back in France again after just 4 days at home, and hoping for a few fish this week. Didn't fish yesterday, got here mid-afternoon, set the stall out, went around, baited 3 spots. I've come with 25 kilos of the LT in both 18mm and 12mm, and I've just mixed some of the house particles, some of the house pellet, and put a good few handfuls of boilies in each mix and just spread it over the top. Then this morning just put the bait boat out, dropped it under the branches and the far margins, and we'll see what happens from here. So I'm just waiting for my carping partner for the week, Neil, to be collected from the airport. Got all his gear set up ready for him, and let's hope for a good week. Sunday morning, and we're off the mark. Lovely scraper 20 leather, something that this lake's beginning to be known for. We've got leathers, commons, mirrors, all sorts of species in here. Fantastic fish, beautiful condition. Caught on a little yellow Hutchie Aprilberry 12mm pop-up over a bed of lake particle and pellet, and 18mm 12mm LT. Let's hope there's more to come. So, what a start to the day. 48.5 pounds of Tremblaye mirror. What a creature. Again, on a little 12mm Hutchinson Aprilberry pop-up over a nice big bed of lake particle and pellet, and the 12mm and 18mm LT. And let's hope we catch a few more of these.
No, you moved right in the way.
Did I? It don't matter. Don't matter. After landing the big grassy Gilbert last night at probably 42, 43 pounds, I had to let him go. He went mental in the net, nearly smashed it to bits. I've landed this morning, a strange looking fish, fantastic markings on it, one side, but the other side's different. Just a mid-double. Thought it was a common, but it's a mix between a common and something else. As you can see, the scale patterns on that are different to the scale patterns on the other side. But what a fantastic looking fish. Nice start to the morning. Again, taking on the 12mm Apri-berry pop-ups from Rod Hutchinson over a bit of particle and pellet, and plenty of the 12mm and 18mm LT boilie. Wonder what else the day can throw up for us. Well, quiet afternoon, quiet morning, just been round to the spots. I put a good 8 to 10 spoonfuls of the particle pellet mix with plenty of 12mm and 18mm LT over it, and I'm not so sure now whether I haven't been putting enough bait in, because less than 10 minutes after I put it all in, off she goes. 46.5 pound. What a beautiful creature. Over the moon. Let's hope there's more to come. Wednesday afternoon, seems to be similar bite time every day, around 2:30, 2:45. Beautifully coloured, 22 pound common. Again caught on the little 12mm Apri-berry pop-up from Rod Hutchinson over particle pellet mix and plenty of the 12mm and 18mm LT boilie. Sun's out, more baits going in. See what we can do. Wednesday afternoon, 51 pound at Tremblaye mirror. It's been feeding its way through every spot by the look of him. So there's going to be plenty more bait out. Same hook bait, nice little 12mm Apri-berry pop-up from Rod Hutchinson. Plenty of pellet and particle over at spot with plenty of 12mm, 18mm LT boilie. Could do with a couple more of these, but session, I'd say that was another good one. Walking out from the dining area with the open barn. Look at the colours and the trees in there. The sun that's dropping down now. Autumn is really here. Slowly packing down. Saturday afternoon. Ferries tomorrow afternoon. Neil's now on his flight home from Nantes. Had one more fish from the left-hand bush. 31 pound common. Went absolutely mental in the sling. So got him on the bank, give him a quick weigh. Treated him with propolis and sent him on his way. No point hanging around in a photograph. Today's been probably the best day weather-wise that we've had, although we've no rain at all. And so far, 12 fish between us we've had, including 4 40s and a 50, which is brilliant to say the least. Just finishing packing up. 2 rods have gone at once, so this is the second one of the brace. £55. Absolutely blown away with this. We've got another one in the sling that's not as big, but it's quite big. Again, caught on the 12mm Appriberry pop-up over plenty of the LT boilie. What a weight wender session. Absolutely fantastic. Just press red. So this is the first one of the brace. £49.8 of Tremblaye mirror. If Carlsberg did carp fisheries, this is the place. Same 12mm Appriberry pop-up over plenty of LT, and they love it, absolutely love it. Happy days. So as we're trying to photograph the first of the brace, the third rod's got off, and what an amazing creature this is. £34 of Tremblaye mirror, fully scaled, absolute picture. Like I said, if Carlsberg did carp fisheries, this is the place. I don't really know what to say. What a way to end a week's fishing. Treble take within half an hour of me bringing the rods in. A 55, 49.8 and a 34. Unbelievable place this. I think between us we've put in probably 35 kilo of bait. I know 25 kilo of the LT's gone in. Probably 40 kilo of particle and 40 kilo of pellet. So these fish are troughing, really troughing. I think we're the last anglers on for the year before the netting. So things are looking good for next year. I'll see you again soon.